welcome back to New Londinium, or if this is your first time, welcome to New Londinium. This is my my steampunk world, my steampunk let's play to be exact. But as you can see, we are making progress on our temporary base. And I say temporary, I mean it'll be temporary for a long time. But last time we switched from building underground and building the structure of the basement to building above ground, which is what you see now. And it took us a long time to get here, but I'm pretty jazzed with how things are turning out now. But today I want to kind of undo some of what I did last time, and I even hinted at it toward the end of the last episode, in that when I set up these walls, if you remember, there was some space on the sides of the house where I'd set aside room for making large fireplaces. And then even by the end of the episode, I kind of thought better about that. I thought maybe I want to move those fireplaces internal to the building, so set up pass-throughs, so that instead of having 2 rooms with fireplaces, I could essentially set up 4 rooms with fireplaces. Plus, it's really hard to have an external side wall chimney in Minecraft that looks good and not really crazy blocky. So that's why I did that. Now, with that in mind, I also have a very specific requirement, which is that I really need or want to build the fireplaces out of deep slate, which is a thing that I've just kind of developed lately. And the reason is I think deep slate looks awesome. Not vanilla deep slate. I don't like the look of that, but I used the Lithos texture pack, and I think what they did with deep slate is just spectacular, and I love that look. So there you go. I like to use it. Now, there's a slight problem in that, as the name would imply, deep slate is found deep, right? I'm not going to find it in trees. I'm not going to find it on the surface, except very unusual circumstances. But I'm going to need a fair amount to make the fireplaces. So to get the deep slate, I got to go deep, and that's okay, because if you remember, or I have a master plan for New Londinium, and it's a big plan, right? Because New Londinium is a huge project. So the master plan is fairly well developed, and there's very little in this world that, in fact, I don't think there's anything in this world that could stop me from moving forward with my master plan. But I think there's plenty of things that could potentially be in this world that could give me a master headache in trying to implement my master plan. And so to kind of just have an idea of what I'm dealing with, because, it's a lot easier to tackle problems if you have some sense of what they are when they'll hit. The hardest problem to tackle is the one that hits you as a surprise. So I've always had on my to-do list this need to go and dig what I call the center shaft, and that would be basically a single shaft down to bedrock to see what's there, right? To know what's going on. Now that exercise should give me the deep slate I need, plus it gives me an understanding of what awaits me as I start working on New Londinium itself. So that's the plan today. The plan is to do some stuff around the house. I've been farming here because I have a mod that gives me a little experience for that, and I had my magical diamond pick with mending in my hand to kind of repair it a little, and it doesn't look like it did much. Did something, but not much. And that's okay. So, and then we needed some wood. So, got some wood. And now I can replant the tree I took down. So, that's what we're going to do. We're going to head to the new Londinium digging site. And we're going to tunnel straight on down. See what's up. Now, before I do that, digging down is easy. Getting back up can be a little harder. So, to prevent any undue problems with that, we're going to make a bunch of ladders. Because, what goes down must come up. Or does it go the other way around? Well, in this case, if I go down, I certainly do want to come back up. So, we'll use some of our newfound wood to prepare for that. Still haven't found bamboo, and if you look around, the type of environment I am makes that pretty unlikely anytime soon. So we'll save this bark because we're now at a point that I'm producing straw in a decent amount. So when we get back, maybe we'll make some organic compost, which will transform into rich soil and then rich farmland and all sorts of cool stuff. Oops, it's not quite what I meant to do. Let's see if I can transform these into something. Oh, good. That works. Then I can do what I meant to do, which was make them into sticks. And let's see. Bedrock is just above minus 64, and we're starting at about sea level, which is about 60. So, we're going to need about 120 or more ladders. And of course, I'm working with dark oak here, and with the Woodworks mod, my dark oak ladder looks like a Windows frame. It looks like the logo for Windows 3.1 is what it looks like. So, that's okay. Makes me nostalgic. Okay. So, I think we're off to see the wizard. And gotta keep the doors shut. You don't want the riffraff getting in. It is a nice day. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Keep the my enchanted pick in hand just in case I come across any experience opportunities. Want to channel as much of that into repairing the pick as I can, because it is a beast when it comes to excavating large sections of stone. But in the meanwhile, as you've seen on previous trips down this road, we'll go ahead and reinforce our little trail as we run through. I think we've gone from trail to full-blown path, and we are not too far away from road, I think. And at some point in the near future, I might actually do that. I might actually go to the trouble of setting up a proper road, of about 3 or 4 blocks width, so that I can then go find a horse and use wagons, right? Because I have the Asticor carts mod, well, the rebooted version, and so that would be pretty cool, is to be able to take all that, between the backpack, the cart, and everything. I could take a lot of material to the work site. I could bring a lot of material back from the work site without having to do a lot of shuttling or anything like that. So, just makes things more efficient. And efficient's good. You know, there was a time when I would have said efficiency is everything. And I think I do weight, efficiency heavily toward the preferable side. But what is it with this house that these guys love to hang out here? I mean, last time I was here, they seemed to have kind of, gone walking around and left this place alone. But now they're back. It's almost like somebody's giving away something, like free cookies or something. Let me free cookies. So let me tell you a story. I don't know if I've ever told this one online before, but if I have and you've heard it before, I'm sorry. But if you haven't, you might find this interesting. So nowadays, if you want a soda, you can get sodas in any type of weird configuration you want, right? So you can have a soda, or you can have a soda of pure cane sugar, or you can have a soda with aspartame, or you can have a soda with stevia, or you can have a soda with no caffeine. You have a soda with extra caffeine. You have a soda with kind of caffeine. Blah blah blah. You name it. There's a soda type, right? Back in the day, that wasn't the case. And I remember, I think I was this is why I love this pick. I think it was 10th grade. And if you don't know this already, companies do sample marketing all the time, right? They have, a new pasta sauce or something, and so they wanted to get it into consumers' hands. Usually they do some type of study to figure out which consumers they want to get it in the hands of. And then what they do is they figure out a way to get the consumer that sauce or that product, and then figure out if they like it or not, right? If the response is good, then they'll move forward with producing it on a grander scale and maybe a wider distribution. And if it doesn't do well, then try something else. So, where I lived in San Diego, there's a number of companies that do this type of work in the San Diego area. For some reason, they have centered on San Diego as like some type of bellwether or indicator of the country at large. That being said, they try sampling things there all the time. And so one day, as I and my high school friends were walking home from high school, as we approached the big condominium complex that we lived in, we noticed a bustle of activity with the elementary school kids who got out of school slightly before us. Now, they were swarming, running around like crazy people in the apartment complex, and of course this caught our eye. So as we approached, what we found was that somebody had gone through the condo complex and placed bags with tons and tons of bags on the a bag on the door of every condo with 2 fairly small bottles of cola, right? And it was called Like Cola, and you won't find it in a store because they give it a goofy name, so you don't know who's really doing the testing here. But anyhow, but it wasn't regular cola; it was decaffeinated cola, right? But if you're a kid, cola's cola, and somebody put all this free cola unprotected on all these condo doors, and so all these elementary school kids were buzzing like bees, running around grabbing all the cola. Now, if you remember, when you were in elementary school, anybody that was like, say, I don't know. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Things just get complicated here. Let's take a look. What? Oh, okay. Latency. So what I'm doing now is I'm knocking out the this is exactly why I go to this trouble. So I'm knocking out those lower blocks specifically, and then I'm going to give myself a safe place here to do the next and throw away my pick. But I'm going to give myself a safe spot, and I'm going to go in and get my stack, or mostly stack, of gravel that I'm carrying around for emergencies like this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use those cutouts I made to place the gravel so that I could dig safely past this point. Now I have to deal with that urn. I hear the footsteps. So let's just do this fast. And there we go. Anyway, so all these kids were running around grabbing these bags of decaffeinated soda, and they were collecting them. And if, like I said, if you remember, when you're in elementary school, pretty much anybody from 9th grade up looks like an adult. And adults are people of authority. So when we show up, high school kids that we are, I'm going to take a brief nap here because it's thundering and storming out there. I don't want it, or I won't be taking a nap, I guess. We'll go a little lower and try again. So, so when we, as high school kids, show up, hey, you kids, what are you doing? And at that point, all the elementary school kids scattered, right? So they scattered and they dropped the goods. So we now had access to what they had already collected. So, you know, we're not stupid. Look a gift horse in the mouth. So we took our ill-gotten gain and we took it home. So we split up the. Hold on. Ouchie, mama. Well, that's not cool. So, you know, I was one of the first people to drink decaffeinated soda. And again, if you're a kid, free soda's free soda. So, couldn't say I was a huge fan, but considering the price I paid for it, it was great. Anyhow, all the villagers gathering around that one house just reminded me of all those kids running around and grabbing up all the soda. So that's where that came from. That was a grandpa moment. Sorry. I'm pretty sure, though, that they, whoever's idea it was to give away free soda by placing it on people's doorsteps, they probably got a reprimand or fired. Because I can assure you, we didn't give any feedback on the soda we got, and anybody who reached out to those people who didn't get their soda would probably found out that they didn't get the soda, right? And, you know, what's your opinion on what? On the soda we left you. Nobody left me soda. Oh, there was no bags on your door? No. Yep, a lot of wasted money. Can't, and you know, that was just pure. How deep are we? 6. Okay, that was just pure human behavior, right? I mean, that's like a little Lord of the Flies moment. Anybody who didn't see that coming just doesn't know a thing about people, specifically kids. Or maybe they didn't realize that there were so many kids in the area. But then I can't imagine that, because that's probably why they chose that area for the marketing. So anyway, like I said, I benefited from it. So it was a lot of fun. Nowadays, I certainly don't drink decaffeinated soda because this, like what I'm doing here is a lot of fun and very important to me, but it wouldn't be possible without caffeine. And since I don't like coffee and tea, I don't have any problem with tea, except that it's too much caffeine, right? Unless you get green tea, and after a while you get sick of green tea. So soda is my primary vehicle for getting my caffeine fix. So decaffeinated soda? No, thank you. I am getting to the point where I think I might have to think about sugar-free soda. But at that point, I think I'd rather just drink water. Not real fond of the chemically taste, but you probably get used to it, right? And then the fear is that when it comes time to drink a regular soda, you don't drink regular soda because it tastes funky compared to the diet stuff. So, if you are a soda drinker, or have thoughts about soda, or have your own marketing experiences that you'd like to share, by all means, plop those down in the comments below. I find it interesting. I've noticed that we've really started to have more people get active in the comments, and we've had some very interesting exchanges. So thank you for that, and I think other people enjoy those exchanges as well. Plus, we have a Discord, right? So if you go to the show notes, there is a link to the Discord server, and we've had some other interesting conversations there. And so you're more than welcome to join us in either place, both places, or you can remain a stalker and quietly lurk in the comment section and see what's going on. That's cool. I get that. I mean, when I was a kid, I was pretty introverted. And if you were a hardcore introvert, you might think I'm pretty extroverted now. But the truth is every time we take one of those personality assessments, I invariably come out like almost smack dab in the middle. Right? So I'm an introverted extrovert, or an extroverted introvert, or beyond classification, or however you want to say it. So obviously I have no problem putting myself out there like I am here, right? But there's other times that an iron too. So I'm going to try to get the iron with the stone pick so that the experience will heal my Uber pick. Anyway, so I was talking about extroverted, introverted. Anyway, I have no problem, sharing in this forum, saying embarrassing things, because that used to cause a lot of anxiety and concern amongst me. But I've been saying embarrassing things for a really long time, and eventually you kind of get over it, right? It's kind of like when you study martial arts, right? The first time you study martial arts and you get hit, right? I mean, it just freaks you out because you're not used to getting hit. Then after you've been studying martial arts for a while, unless somebody is really hitting you hard, you really have no problem with being hit at all, because it's something you do anyway during training. So no big deal, right? Just what you get used to. In fact, one of my daughters, who might be embarrassed by me talking about this, but she plans to be a lawyer someday. And okay, that's cool. But she is pretty introverted, right? She's very bookish, and she gets really easily embarrassed. So, of course, her dad talks about her on YouTube. But, so I said, look, if you're going to be a lawyer, there are lawyers who never see another living soul. But the vast majority of lawyers actually interact with other people a lot. And yes, they need to be very good writers. Uh-oh. Well, let's take a break here to make sure I can see what I'm dealing with. And it's only one block. I mean, nobody can kill me. Well, a creeper could, I guess, but let's just set it up, the ladder, so we can come back up quickly if we need to, and then see what we got here. Oh, it's really nothing. Anyway, so you know, I say, look, oh, it looks like we got more. Oh no, we don't. Okay. So I said, look, you're gonna have to talk to people, right? I mean, a lot of lawyers write stuff all the time, right? That's part of the job, but they also do a lot of speaking, and you got to be well, articulate and be able to think on your feet, and you can't be embarrassed by what you're saying, because you know, a good chunk of the effectiveness of a lawyer is that when they speak, you're going to exude that confidence, right? You're not going to influence people with a lot of, oh shucks, I don't know. So she gets that, and so she's joined the speech club, right? And man, okay. Let's just block this off a little. The main concern as I do all this is I really don't want to open up into like some big old cave system, right? Well, I don't mind opening up into a big old cave system. I don't want to open up into the top of a big old cave system, right? Because that just makes everything more complicated. Now, this isn't a big old cave system. This looks like it's just a normal cave system, but still, it's enough to cause some difficulty. Oh, jeez. Oh, okay. I have, yeah, I see ya. I have a fear. Because 9 times out of 10, when I drop into the unknown like that, it's like I almost always fall into a pit of creepers. It's right, and they all explode at once, right? I mean, this I don't mind so much, but you know, dropping into creepers and not knowing. I mean, sometimes I've dropped into a pit of creepers that are so close to me, I can't see beyond them. I don't even know what's. Oh, speaking of creeper. Come here. Yep. Yeah, good enough. Yeah, I fall into this knot of creepers, and I'm in the middle of them, and I can't see beyond them, right? I don't even know which way to run, and what are you going to do? I can't, you know, it's not like I have Excalibur or, you know, Mjolnir or whatever. I got my little stone sword, best case iron sword, and oh well, let's see how this goes. Usually I'm dead. So kind of light things up here to kind of keep the bad guys at bay next time I'm in the neighborhood. A lot of useful stuff down here, but I think I'm going to use the iron pick, I mean the magic pick, to grab some of the goodies. Like I said, we need a lot of deep slate, so didn't realize I was running so low on torches. Anyway, you got some over here. Switching back, I think I'd rather get the experience. Get the experience into my magic pick. Okay. Nothing obvious. I just made torches, now I get torches. Figures. There's another urn over there, but I'm not really in a big rush to go open it. So anyway, so going all the way back to introvert, extrovert, my kid going to speech club. Okay, that startled me. You know, well, you've heard practice makes perfect, and that's somewhat true, but also practice or familiarity also takes out the fear or the unpleasantness. I mean, to a certain extent. I still have a fear of heights. I know I have a fear of heights. I know it's illogical to have a fear of heights. I've gone places where my fear of heights triggered, and I knew that I was perfectly safe logically. The tricky part about phobias, or even just human mind in general, is that we have the ability to fool ourselves, right? I mean, it comes in different shapes, like a denial, rationalization. You know, these are all things you can go look up on a psychology website. But, you know, as humans, we have some really strange software in our head that allows us to do some really strange things. And it's not by accident. I mean, that stuff's developed over eons. And in general, it's supposed to help us deal with problems in the real world. But there are times when it gets in the way of our functioning in the real world. And that's when you see people do really, really weird things under extreme circumstances. Well, that and shock, but... yeah. Wow, that was quite a round trip. Anyway, we're in deep slate country now. I'm sure you've noticed, so I'm getting the deep slate. Now, you know... I've actually had some people ask me about this texture pack. This is the Lithos HD 32X texture pack, and I love this thing. If you look, like there's a deep slate cobble block, well, two of them now, and if you look, the top texture, I think, is one of the best fieldstone, cobblestone type textures I've ever seen. Right? So I love using these blocks as stone flooring. You know, someplace where you would normally have, you know, like you know, stone brick can be too cut and regular, and for very large spaces, it can, you know, leads to a kind of like a pattern fatigue, right? Just lines, perfectly straight lines that seem to go forever. You don't get that with this, or at least not as much. Now, you got to pay close attention, because see, what I'm looking at right now is deep slate, and it has the same pattern as the cobbled deep slate. The difference between the two, though, and in case you're curious, I'm just digging some extra space out down here. I'm gonna have to do it at some point anyway, but you know, I'm just, so I'll need to do it anyway. But mostly, I'm after the deep slate. But basically, they have the same texture. It's just that the deep slate, it's slightly lighter, and I actually prefer that for floors and stuff. The deep slate cobble is a little darker, but you'll notice that when I do use it for flooring, I do use cobbled deep slate, and the reason, pure and simple, is that the cobbled deep slate has a cobbled deep slate stairs, and it uses the same texture. But deep slate doesn't have a deep slate stairs, so I can use the deep slate, the cobbled deep slate stairs with it, use the same texture, but the coloring's slightly off, so it looks off, right? So I stick with the cobbled deep slate for flooring in general. But I mean, it looks fabulous, and there's been times that I've seriously thought about taking that texture and converting the colors to basically the same palette used for cobblestone, so that the cobblestone uses the same texture. Yeah, to do it right, I would need to reach out to the Lithos folks and see if they're okay with me reusing their texture like that and stuff. And that's a big chunk of why I don't do it. I'm sure they'd actually say yes, probably, but yeah, I just trying to keep things simple. In a similar vein, if you are a YouTube creator, you could probably relate to this, especially if you use any type of music or background music or even other people's media in your creations, right? It really complicates things. I'm not a musician, right? I couldn't carry a tune unless it's in a boombox. So, that's me. But I love music, and I think music's important. And you got music playing here, right? So it's important for me to find music that I can use in my videos that don't cause me any grief, right? No copyright strikes or anything like that. And there are a lot of options out there, but if you're a content creator, I'm sure you well know, not all options are created equal. Some are definitely better than others, depending on what you're after. Like the options that are like absolutely and completely totally free are also the options that give you maybe not a great selection of music, or there's pretty good selection, but the quality of the tracks are not necessarily what you're looking for, right? And of course, you can get some majorly awesome tracks out there, but then they're going to ask you to pay. And when you pay, there's all sorts, it's pay by the track, and there's pay by subscription, and sometimes there's even, you pay for life, lifetime subscription type of thing. I mean, there's all sorts of models out there. And so that complicates things. Oh, this is like a balcony up here, like an opera box. Okay, good to know. So all of that complicates the whole content creation side of things. I mean, if you're one of those people that can do your own music and on top of your own editing, your own video, well, you're a true Renaissance man or a Renaissance woman or Renaissance person. And I'm truly impressed. But the most of us, we can't be good at everything. So, got to rely on others. Anyhow, where I was headed with all this is that for the first year that I generated content, all of that was actually very easy, right? Like New Londinium and Griffin Manor and Griffin Hall, I use ragtime. Well, ragtime's old music. I mean, ragtime as a genre, as a popular genre, kind of died out like 10 or 20 years before the copyright laws in the United States went into effect. So one of the reasons I use it is, besides the fact that I like it, besides the fact that it fits this theme perfectly, it's generally free. I have access to a lot of good public domain recordings of ragtime. But when we talk about, say, Greifenhorst or From the Rubble, well, ragtime's not going to fit there. And I need other music. And I am still using a lot of Pixabay. The selection is huge, and the quality is spotty, right? So some of it's good, some of it's okay, a lot of it's not great. But they also have a licensing system that it's a little extra work, but it works well, or well enough. And so, in minimal headaches. And of course, the price is right. And that was generally fine. Everything was working fine. Now, eventually, I decided I wanted access to a little bit higher quality music for variety. And I got a subscription to Licked, which I still have now. And the thing about Licked is the overall quality is better. They have a lousy search engine, but the overall quality is better. But they actually will let you license popular tracks, stuff you hear on the radio, right? Now, if you notice by now, I don't use a lot of that type of music, so that wasn't a big plus to me. But they license a lot of classical music. I mean, the classics, not just some modern composer who made something that is classical, but rather Beethoven and Mozart and all those. And the recordings that are world class. I mean, they really sound great, but they cost money. And that was my music generation for a long time. But in the summer, I started seeing some weirdness in the YouTube space, because what would happen is when you create a video, right, and you upload it, and then it'll scan the video, and then it'll say, hey, you've got some copyrighted music. And it's not a copyright hit. They're just telling you, you've got some copyrighted music, so we're going to give you a chance to explain yourself, right? Do you have a license, not have a license, whatever. And until you resolve this video is not available for monetization, which whoopity-doo, because I am nowhere near monetization. But maybe someday I'd like to keep that option open. And I also really hate having somebody that could potentially come to me one day and say, hey, my music's on your video, I want you to take it off, and then I have to go retroactively figure that out. So I try to sort all my copyright music issues so that my options are open. Not a big deal, but you see, suddenly I started getting these copyright warnings on all my stuff. But the ones that really caught me off guard was like new Londinium, right? I'm using public domain tracks of music that's 120 years old, and they're saying, hey, this track you use, it uses the melody of this copyrighted track. Now, let me explain something to you. Yes, it uses the melody because the melody was published 120 years ago and it is in the public domain. But they have a copyrighted track because, as for an example, in 1973, Martin Hamlish did the soundtrack for The Sting, and it is primarily ragtime. And all those pieces were in the public domain, the melodies. But then he rearranged them, conducted them, and now you have new, modern, copyrighted performances. And so if I use one of those, well, I need to work something out with the copyright holders. But in this case, that's not what they're saying. They're saying I have a melody similar to somebody who did exactly what Marvin Hamlish did, right? They re-recorded a ragtime song, and then they copyrighted that performance, and now YouTube is getting all stickler on me and saying, hey, you're using the same melodies as this song. So it's like, oh gosh. So now it added a bunch of extra work, because every time I post one of these, I get a bunch of these warnings saying, oh, hey, you're using this ragtime song, it's a copyright problem. And it's like, no, it's not. And every single time I got to go through and explain that the song is 125 years old and it's been in the public domain 20 years before there was the idea of public domain, right, or copyright. And it makes things awkward. Now that was bad enough, but then it seems like, I think what YouTube was doing is they used a new UI. They use new AI to do the scanning for this. And so suddenly I also had more hits across all the genres of music I use. And what's worse is if you go to Pixabay, there's two models, right? There's the people who say, here's my music, use it. As long as you use it by the Pixabay license, we're good. And so if you download it, the default is a Pixabay license, and it's just implied that you're going to use that. There's nothing else to do, about it. And then there's other ones that say, well, I reserve certain rights, so I want to take it a step further, and so you have to download a certificate license. And in those cases, those ones should light up in the YouTube system, and then you just copy paste from the certificate you got into the copyright dispute system, and then you're good and go. But now I'm getting these warnings on stuff from Pixabay from creators that didn't do that, right? They didn't go that route. So what happens is I have to dispute it, but I don't have anything to dispute it with. I don't have a separate license for this song. So then you gotta, like, you know, what I do is I cut. So first I'll put a comment in there going, hey, this music is specifically covered by the Pixabay content license, and then I put a link to where I got the music from Pixabay, right? So they can go see that, yes, that's what the author says on their site for this track. And then I give them a link to the Pixabay content license itself, and I'm like, there you go. And I don't know if I have to do that, because again, I'm not monetized, so nobody's come after me yet, but I don't want that stuff hanging out there. You know, worst scenario is, you know, I do 6 or 7 months of that, and then I do get monetized, you know, somehow. And then I got 6 or 7 months of videos that are now suddenly out of bounds and not counting for me because I didn't do all this copyright stuff in the first place. So that is a headache I'm going through now. So it's got me thinking about, you know, now it's a much greater hassle than it used to be. How do I work around it? Well, I'm hoping that, you know, YouTube probably goes, hopefully they go back to what they were doing before. I doubt that's going to happen, right? I think this is probably this changes at the request of these copyright holders. They want to make sure their copyrights are doubly and triply protected. And if I was a copyright holder, I'd probably feel the same way. So I get it, and it's probably not going away. So the other solution is maybe just find a different way of doing music. And I'm going through that exploration process all over again now. One of the things that I'm leaning toward at the moment is Suno, which is AI generated music. So, but the thing about AI is, first of all, not all AI is equal, right? And then if you find somebody who's got a good AI agent, then it's a matter of learning how to talk to it to get decent results out the other end. And then, of course, there's the interesting thing about, like, who owns rights? What can you do with it? And most of the AI engines will basically say, well, you know, we don't. It's mixed, right? Some of them will basically say you don't own the music. Some of them will say we own the music. Some of them will say we own the music unless you get a certain level of subscription or pay us a fee, and then you own the music, and it's a mess. Now with Suno, technically they own the music if you have a free account, but if you get a paid account, paid subscription, then you own the music. You can do whatever you want with it, and you know, I might go that way. The other thing is there are a number of content houses that they're like Licked, right? Basically, here's our catalog. There's a bunch of stuff. Now, Licked is unusual in that they give you access to the hits. I mean, some major stars. But since I don't play any real pop music here, that is not a huge draw for me, and I'm starting to think that one of those other providers might be better for me, especially if they offer a one-time lifetime access, right? So then it's a matter of finding a service that has a good selection that'll keep me happy for a long time, pay the one-time fee, and then I'm good to go forever, right? Or unless they go out of business, which is, you know, it's the internet age still, so that happens. But anyway, you probably didn't want to know all that, but it is what it is. I mean, that's just, if you're gonna open up a channel of your own, you got to know this stuff. Well, you will know this stuff. Either you're gonna learn it the hard way, or somebody like me can learn the hard way for you and then pass on the information so that it's a lot less painful for you. But it's just something else you're gonna have to deal with. So You couldn't stand anywhere else. Of course not. So I think at the end of the last episode, I said, yeah, I need to go get deepslate. And I said, well, I think 1 stack will do it, but two stacks will definitely do it. And now that I'm actually using them, 1 stack didn't do it. And 2 stacks might do it. So I don't know about you. I have a feeling that whoever programmed the AI for the Wandering Trader and the llamas has a cat. And the reason I say that is I think they modeled the AI off of cats, which is if you're doing something and you're focused on getting something done and what you're doing, they have a tendency to just walk into the middle of it, right? It's like, oh, well, you're not paying attention to me and you're paying attention to that, so I'll just put me in the middle of your focus and then you have to pay attention to me. Because I swear to Holy Hannah that that's exactly how the trader works. Like, I'm going to knock these cobblestone bricks out, and now he's walking over by me, and I wouldn't be surprised if they get up in the middle of where I just carved out with the bricks. Which, you know, you might have noticed that I don't go around indiscriminately killing stuff, and even when wandering traders and llamas get in my way and aggravate, you know, the holy snot out of me, I will go count to 10 and not kill them. But you've probably been tempted yourself or have seen others who will just rain holy terror on them because it is so aggravating to have them park themselves in the middle of what you're doing. Now, obviously the fireplaces aren't done, but they're done enough that I can continue around. I tore out the places where I put cobblestone, where I planned to put the fireplaces. So now it's time to kind of pick up where we left off last time, right? Let's finish these walls, including some interior walls, I think. And I'm thinking here, I mean, if this kind of hoses up my pattern, right? I had 2 blocks between each window, but right here in the middle, I don't have room for 2 blocks between the windows. And if I put in just 1 block between the windows, I think that would look just as goofy. So I think we'll just take the windows out of the very middle of the house, like this. I don't think that'll look too bad, but I do need more blocks. And I got plenty. So there we go. You better not be hawking loogies in my house. That's all I'm saying. Take it outside there, pal. It's like if you've watched my Mostly Satisfactory series. In that game, they've got this big old, I don't know, water balloon looking flea giraffe monster creature that walks around. It seems to be perfectly harmless, but I swear he's always hanging out on my base or by me. And with all the noises and stuff he makes, the way his body just like, I have this feeling, this overwhelming feeling like he's getting ready to just poop all over the place. And I'm only now played the game enough to start to feel comfortable that that won't happen. I mean, let's face it, nobody likes to get pooped on, much less have a giant alien creature put giant alien poop on you. So yeah, hopefully I don't lose a bunch of subscribers because I'm talking about poop, but I don't know. I mean, it depends on my subscriber base. I mean, this might drive my numbers up. So I don't know. Okay. And again, I hear that water, right? I'm out here. I hear water flowing like there's some type of, a river runs through it type of situation. There's no river running through anything. And the sky's clear blue. That's not, clear enough blue. So that's not rain. Okay, so I got walls. Keep out the bad guys. Which is good. Now it's probably time to lay out some interior walls. Not all of them, just the ones around the fireplace here. Like so. I think almost cut the ground out from underneath me, literally. I think on this side, though, we would want to create a doorway to get back and forth. Oops. I want this. There we go. Yeah. And then I have this fully framed block for the top of the doorway. There you go. Nice. Okay. Do the same thing. Wandering Trader has gone someplace, but he left his llamas and he left his leads. Oh, he hasn't gone far. I guess he just probably went down the stairs and the llamas couldn't follow. The lead snapped. And now I got leads. So this would... did I screw that up? No. Okay. And then on this side, it's looking to me like it's going to start storming. I wonder if I just have my shader settings wrong, because I mean it is getting to be later afternoon, but it really does, the clouds are getting darker, and I don't think, I mean it's cool, I like it, it's realistic, but I don't think it's supposed to work that way. I did mess up over here. There we go. Make a house and you can't get from one side to the other. That would be bad. Okay. Well, this is one of the challenges of a Let's Play. Is I'm trying to keep you entertained, informed, and moving along. But at the same token, too, I'm doing some pretty complex stuff here. And sometimes I just don't have the processor or RAM to handle all of it at the same time. I guess this is kind of like when your BioWare lags, with me being the BioWare. Okay, need a bunch more of these. I can just feel the stress melting away as I do this. I got the birds singing. Got maybe too many birds singing, but the point is I got the birds singing. I got the sun shining. I'm seeing progress here. Of course, as soon as I apparently said something, it all went away. But the sun's still there. I still see progress going here. Living within a big pit of lava isn't particularly relaxing. Or not within a pit of lava, but within stone's throw of a pit of lava. How about that? Yeah, I think I'm going to have to take down this tree and leave it down. Not quite enough. Not quite enough. Uh-oh. Looks like there's a pillager captain down there, so I'll just kind of duck down out of sight. I mean, I'm not in any danger of kicking off a raid with villagers. It's just that I'm looking at the time here, and I need to keep moving because there's some stuff I want to finish before this episode's over. So let's change some of this dirt into dirt blocks. Oops. Now I have enough to keep going, for this episode at least. But now we actually... But now we have actual stairs to go up and down on, right? I should probably do something about this. I remember... No, I need a just regular block. I remember when there were stone cutters, but they did nothing. Then I remembered that they took away stone cutters, so there were no stone cutters. Then I remembered that they brought back stone cutters. And now with the help of mods, it does look so dark and stormy. Anyway, now with the help of mods, the stone cutters are useful for blocks of planks too. And I, for one, am okay with that. I'm really okay with that. Now, these fireplaces, not gonna, you know, normally fireplaces get, the chimney gets smaller as it goes up, but in this case I'm not, because there will be this next floor will have pass-through fireplaces in the same location. So just keep everything the same size and continue, and everything will be fine. You'll see. You have to trust me on this. It's not my first rodeo. Obviously it wasn't even nearly enough. I think I probably need to move all my stuff indoors now. Well, it's certainly indoors. I wouldn't call it inside since there's no roof, but no, I guess I could put it in the basement, but that guy doesn't seem to be worried about me too much, so I'm not going to worry about him too much. Alrighty. This is looking pretty good, if I don't say so myself. We even have proper stairs. Don't have to, like, you know, jump on blocks or put up a temporary ladder. Okay, let's start moving stuff. I mean, you want to move stuff indoors because what's the point of having a building if you're never in it, right? And the point of the building, too, is to get me, my stuff, and pretty much anything else I want out of the weather. Also out of the reach of bad guys, thieves, brigands, magazine salesmen. So this is what I'm doing. You know, I have this bouncing around between my different Let's Plays series. It's a lot of fun. And that's why I do it, right? I'm really digging that. But there is a negative side to this, which is sometimes I get a little confused bouncing around. One more back here. So just now, as I was, you know, pulling stuff out of my inventory, I saw I had a stack of arrows, and I almost wanted to store the stack of arrows because I'm like, I don't need those. I got spells. But that's true in my Greifenhorst game. That's not true here. Here I need the arrows. It's just a matter of time until that's gonna bite me in the butt. I'm sure it's just a matter of time. $44, $48. Okay, this should be enough to get me my bookshelves back. Except I need an axe. Oh, I just did that. You have to excuse me, the caffeine's wearing off. I'm against the clock here. Okay. So I have 45 planks. I need enough. I have 45 books. I need 90 planks. Okay. Okay, let's set this back up. Let's see. There. Don't want to block the windows if I can at all help it. Okay. And, ooh. Enchanting power 12. So, I got 3 books in the wrong place. Oh. They're up here. 2. Let's see. Yeah, it's these ones. So I need 30 planks. 8 times 4 is 32, so that should do it. So I can fill this back in, and then we just need to move them either in front of the windows or that's one. Block the window a little bit. 15. There we go. What else? Now we'll go put the other stuff over here. I mean, I'm going to try to keep it all together, which will be cramped at first, but you know, we're still working on the house, right? So I don't want to try to spread it all out now because I'll just have to keep moving it as we do the rest of the house. Keep it all in one spot, I won't have to move it as much. Put this here. And I'll connect this one to that. Connect the composter here. Okay. Put that in there. Probably need to move some stuff into my backpack or something instead of going back and forth for one block at a time. Okay, so the composter is ready for composting. This one's moving a lot slower because there's a lot more stuff in this. Yep. I think most of these are going to be pretty full. Try to keep the botanicals and the food stuff a little separate from the crafting and the stuff you can't eat or grow. I don't. Here, be free. Live your best life. Buzz off. I prefer not to kill you. I'm not saying that it's entirely outside the realm of possibility. make sure that, yep, everything's in the same order I had it before. Nice. Almost there. Try to get this done before dark. Call it a night. Looks like my unwelcome visitor has... Oh, no, he's still there. Spoke too soon. There. Look at the sunlight. I love shaders. That's just awesome. Okay, so we are now moved indoors. Not inside. Don't have a roof, but indoors. Yep. This is coming together. It's been a long time coming. I apologize for that, but I've been having fun up, well, I'm not going to say up to this point, like I'm implying it won't be fun anymore, but this has all been fun. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. Okay, now he's spinning. So I hope you've enjoyed yourself and you found this interesting, and I hope you come back and see where we go with this next. There's still so much to do. Going to be at this for a long time, so there'll be plenty to see. But until next time, I hope this finds you and yours in good health, good spirits, and perhaps a touch of good fortune. Cheers.